I spoke at her church.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to our live at 5 session of Men in Training MIT. Oh, it's going to be a blast tonight. We're going to talk about some finances, get your finances in order, how to start. And so it's always a pleasure. My name is Craig. I'm one of your recovery coaches here.
And my name is Mike, one of your recovery coaches.
And so just a reminder, coming up next month, August, our Robust will be let's start at the first day of the month, will be on Monday. We'll be at Violent Police Department. Then on the 3rd, we'll be at Lowry's Liquor Store.
All right.
And so for all those who may be tuning in, why we at Lowry Liquor, because we are a recovery center. And so we're trying to help those
going right in the store
who's struggling to do a U-turn or consider or to help someone who may be struggling with substance use disorder.
Yes.
All right. And so after this session of MIT, we're going to have our Gratitude Tuesday session going to be on, and then come Thursday. But before Thursday, tomorrow, this Thursday, we're going to be at
Spirit of Truth.
Spirit of Truth, 7th and Landis in Vineland, New Jersey. Come on
10
out.
to 2 p.m.
10 to 2. Come out.
It's literature. And anybody you know that's struggling with any substance use disorder that might possibly need treatment, or if you want to come get information in regards to the Recovery on Wheels or the Capital Recovery Center or any other entities that we are connected to, you can always come out and get that information.
And also on Thursday at 1 p.m., all recovery meetings.
We got a lot of groups,
and so
that they can attend in person and virtually.
Yes. And so today we're going to be talking about how to remember. Now, this is a men's in training group session, whatever you want to call it. And the goal is, or our objective is to instill some type of leadership skills, some role model skills, and to be empowered, and how to empower one another as men. That's part of it. And so we went over a few topics already in MIT, so I'm going to just give you a preview of what we already went over, a brief preview. And the first topic was recovery. The second was resiliency. The third we talked about was restoring family relationship. So if you haven't seen those yet, go on our website.
Yeah.
Check them out.
See all of them. You can go to our YouTube page, Capital Recovery Center. Cumberland County Human Services YouTube page, or you can go to Capital Recovery Center and see all the videos on Facebook.
All right. So now it's time for meat and potatoes time. So let's eat some good, healthy food. As far as literature, and this literature is brought to you by creditcards.com. And the topic is, as you may see on the screen, is how to rebuild your finances after rehab. And so I'll start it off. And Mike, he'll do what he normally do. He got some good stories, y'all. So get your popcorn, get ready, get relaxed. And so it's going to be a very interesting segment. So as the article says, addiction to drugs or alcohol can damage your health and your personal relationships, and it can drain your finances. A 2021 survey on drug use by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration found that 59.3 million people aged 12 or older used illicit drugs in the past year. And another study by them found that 28.3 million American adults suffer from alcohol use disorder. Those are some staggering numbers. All right. Anyone with a loved one who has suffered from a drug or alcohol problem, or anyone who has suffered addiction themselves, knows that the cost of addiction is high. It can lead to strained or broken relationships with loved ones, the loss of a job, and not enough money to pay the bills. And so I think this article, this subject matter is very important, because a lot of times I used to do assessment, or when we do assessment, oftentimes there is 3 domains that we try to address, especially when we're dealing with people hierarchy needs. And a lot of times when people who are struggling with substance use disorder, we may ask them, would you like to go to treatment? Would you like housing, or would you like a job? And sometimes they would say, I would like a job. And if I know or I detect that they have a substance use order and they score very high, I won't want to set them up for failure by placing them in a job.
Yes, or set the employer up. Absolutely. You said the employees, you referring to a job when you know they're not even going to be able to maintain it.
Absolutely.
And that's something that you're gonna that's a process that a person has to grow to.
Yep.
But it says it can lead to strain or broken relationship with loved ones, the loss of job, not enough money to pay the bills. So it's talking about anyone who has suffered from addiction. It can destroy all of that.
Yeah.
It's unlimited things that can get destroyed.
Absolutely.
When a person is in struggle.
So it says, if you're struggling to stay clean and sober and also have financial issues weighing on your mind, getting your life back on track may feel impossible. Addiction may be an ongoing battle, but financial recovery doesn't have to be. With a solid plan, you can get your finances under control. With a solid plan.
Solid plan, because it eliminates a solid plan will start to deal with the addiction issue, even though the addiction might be ongoing. You can still have a little plan, a solid plan to help with your finances, which in turn, once you start seeing you have more money, you ain't gonna want to waste your money on drugs. You're gonna be like, man, hold on. I'm running out of money here.
Absolutely.
All right. What's the next one? The high financial cost of drug and alcohol abuse. Those suffering from addiction may struggle with money management, spending more than they can afford on their addiction and making frivolous purchases while under the influence. While rehabilitation can be a critical part of turning your life around, the cause of addiction can follow you home from rehab. The cause. That's awesome, because I was just looking at a video, and one of the points I made last night when I was speaking is you have to do your due diligence. That means you have to count the cause. Count the cause of addiction. Many who suffer from addiction experience a financial 1-2 punch. Reduced income, absenteeism, and the lack of productivity at work while under the influence of drug and alcohol costs many people their jobs. Yeah, because eventually you're gonna be like, I gotta leave early.
Yeah,
calling
in, calling out, because you can't get up. I mean,
all that stuff eventually starts to go.
Yeah.
Even people who had ongoing, even addicts who had hold on to their jobs can experience reduced income as addiction gets in the way of promotion, raises, and bonuses. You ain't getting no promotions because you ain't even that. Well, you barely coming to work. I mean, it's like really bad. It says the cost of addiction, a 6-pack of beer can cost as much as 10 or more. So drinking 1 6-pack a day can quickly add up to $300 each month. Heavy use of drugs such as heroin can cost $200 a day or more, which will put a dent in any budget. Woo, that's when you get the boosting and stealing and committing crime, literally, because you need to provide for your addiction. So you got to remember there's a high financial cost of drug and alcohol abuse. Count the cost. I literally was just talking about this last night. You have to count the cost.
And so that's why they label, classify people who using drugs and don't balance their money, high risk.
High risk situation.
Yeah, they put us in high risk of likelihood, all those type of terms, because of the behavior itself. And so we're going to talk about the financial aspect, and once again, this is a men in training mentoring session. So It's basically is that, you probably heard this term, men sharpen men, iron sharpen iron. It's basically for us to empower, to help one another, be more of a role model, leadership, not only within this setting, but also outside of this setting.
That's right, in your life in general.
Yeah. And so recovery from the impact of addiction on your finances. Enrolling in rehab is a huge step.
Congratulations to those who just made the plan to go.
Yeah. Salute to you. But the challenges don't end once you're finished the program.
Don't let this shock you.
Don't let that fool you.
Don't let it shock you. It's not over once you come home.
After those 28 days,
A lot of work to do.
More work to do.
Yeah.
The first thing to remember is that you're not the only one who has made financial mistakes. Don't be so hard on yourself. Taking a deep breath and planning out a road to financial recovery after rehab is an important part of getting back on your feet. It's very important to start the steps. And we're going to talk about some of these steps.
Make a plan.
Make the plan. So let's talk about step one, Mike.
All right, let's look at it. Step one. It says get back into the workforce. Got to pick up a job. Finding a job can be stressful, particularly if there is a gap in your resume due to time spent in rehabilitation or time not working due to addiction. That's why it's important. It's important when you obtain a job that you never leave one job without having another job. I see people make that mistake. Why did you leave that job?
That's paramount.
You know how hard it was for people to get in after you have all this gap in time and your resume and you can't get in, and then you get it in and then leave the job and then you stuck not getting another job. You should never do that. Get back into the workforce. Begin your job search by thinking about what work you enjoy doing. A job you enjoy will motivate you to work hard and help you to look past any of its less attractive aspects. A job you enjoy. I'm gonna tweet that when it's over. A job you enjoy will motivate you to work hard and help you to look past any of its less attractive aspects. Keep in mind 3 factors in job choices that the Addiction Center considers important for people in recovery. Number one, right? 3 things, right? Let's look at it. Clear and reasonable expectations. Clear and reasonable expectation. A stressful job or work environment will interfere with your long-term recovery from addiction. Woo!
That is so true. Woo! Especially someone in new recovery. Early on recovery.
A stressful job,
it don't take much to throw you off course.
Well, you might have to quit. A stressful job, early recovery, had you straight wanting to go back.
Yeah, because I know plenty of times when I will be working, I've been on my feet all day, barely had anything to eat, and once that I clocked out and I breathed that outside air,
it's over.
Get on that bus, and I'm not glorifying anything, but that was where my head when it was so stressful that I really, didn't have time to think clearly.
It says a stressful job.
Yeah.
A structured work environment and duties. Many people who have completed recovery find a stable routine makes their lives feel more manageable. A stable routine. That's why I said, I can't be flipping and flopping and flopping. When you find a stable routine, it helps with you having a structured work environment. Opportunities for growth. You may not take a step back in your career to ensure you can handle the work, or you may want to try a new line of work altogether. A job that sets you up for success by letting you grow your skills without having to change employers will be a bonus because you will avoid the stress of a future job search.
Yeah, I love jobs like that where you may come in unskilled, however, the job will teach you or help train you in the areas of what is required so that you can grow and that you can carry those life skills. Me and Mike was talking about life skills earlier.
Yeah.
And that's one of them is learning how to be employable.
Research government resources and organization. There are a lot of programs available to help you get back to work, such as America Job Center, Job Corps, Path Forward, and others, to name a few. So there's a lot of people you can research, jobs you can research to help you get back into the workforce. So that's step number one.
Let's talk about step number two.
Right.
Moving forward, create a workable budget.
Whoa.
Now this is gonna be challenging.
All right. It's gonna be tough here.
Now, before we even get into that, I had to learn how to set up a budget when I was re-entering back in society. I'm gonna just say that much. And we used to have to fill out itineraries for all those who may identify what an itinerary means. And we have to sit down with a caseworker, and they would tell us or show us how this itinerary actually worked, what is required, and I'll let the article speak for itself. All right. Once you found a new job and have a steady income, you need to make a budget you can stick to. Major expenses such as rent, utilities, and food should be your first priority. But make sure you have money left over for savings and discretionary purposes.
Make sure you don't spend it all in one spot.
That's right. So one of the things we used to do for our itinerary was put some money for our hygienes. Make sure you have that. Then we had to have
Bank account, saving
account.
And don't forget big old rent.
Big old house due. And don't forget them $50. They're gonna have to last you
2 weeks
until you get paid the next week. But that's a different story for a different environment. All right, but it's applicable. That's why I bring it, make mention of, because it's applicable to everyone's lifestyle. You will have to start, like I said, budgeting. Financial expert often suggests using the 50-30-20 method as a starting point for your budget. This budgeting method states that 50% of your income should go towards your necessities. Rent, utilities, food, and other basic bills. The next 30% should be dedicated to your wants, such as dinner out with friends, shopping for new clothes, and weekend getaways. Finally, the 20% of your income should go toward reaching your financial goals, paying off debts, setting up an emergency fund, or saving for retirement. And so this is a good idea, a good way to begin creating a workable budget, because you have to think for the long haul, for the future. You know, most y'all offer benefits.
Benefits kick in.
Yeah. And so whether it be a pension, whether it be a 401k,
it start kicking in for you.
Yeah. And so I suggest, or I don't want to say advise, but if your job offer these type of benefits, look into them.
Man.
Why not?
You know, a lot of times we don't look for down the road, and down the road show up real quick.
Like, I couldn't say it no better, man. Wait, 5-10 years. Yeah,
I was just sitting there today. I told my wife, I said, man, I got to call the post office, PO box. I got a PO box in business. And it's on a cycle. Every 6 months you pay whatever. They sent me an email, man. You know, you're 6 months due. And I said, hey, I just paid. She said, yeah, 6 months ago. I said, man, that thing came around kind of quick. She said, yeah. That's why you want to do budgeting and all that stuff, because, or checking into pension and stuff like that. You want to, because tomorrow be here just like that. You be like 10 years down the line, you're like, man, I could have had stuff saved. I could have, you know what I mean? I find little things about, like, I taught someone, or I do it. I would just take $10 and put it up. Like every time, and you think like, man, it's only like $20. If you do every time you get paid, it's $20 a month. Don't seem like nothing. But if you do it for 10 years, it'll still be a couple dollars.
Absolutely.
You keep just putting it up, just put it up.
Yeah, that's self-count.
That stuff count.
At first, you may have to sacrifice some of that 30% to pay off larger debts and bills. But make sure you're setting aside time and money each month to socialize and work on your mental health. That's very important. Slow down and work on yourself. Rebuilding relationships and spending time on your mental health is an important part of staying sober and thriving in recovery. As you start to get back on your feet financially, your budget can change to fit your lifestyle and your unique needs.
So, good stuff, man. Yeah. Real good. This is good stuff. Next one, we were talking about what I just said.
Step number 3?
Yeah. Open a savings account and add a small amount of money to it each
week. That's right. Discipline. It's going to take some discipline.
Oh, extreme discipline. Act like it's a burger. Put yourself first. Pay yourself first is an old adage in personal finance, and it means saving. Whether you're building up a rainy day fund to cover unexpected costs such as car trouble, saving for a special trip, or planning for retirement, you need to put some money aside for a paycheck. Ideally, 20%. Put it up. This can be difficult in early days of getting back into the job market because you may make less than you did before your addiction, but it's okay. Start small.
It's all right to start small.
Start small. Just
baby steps.
Regular paycheck deductions transferring to a savings account can help. Automatic transfer can keep you from occasionally skipping the deductions. Automatic.
Yeah.
You need automatic transfer.
You don't see it?
Yeah.
Don't matter.
Just put it there.
Yeah.
It's easy. I'm good at it that way, though. I mean, I got discipline at the same time, but I'd rather have stuff automatic, and then I go from there. Okay, why all this went out? Okay, it took care of something that I had to take care anyway. So then I function off of what's there. Okay, but a lot of people make the mistake of trying to live off the whole 100% of what they make. And whatever amount they bring home, they live off the 100% instead of trying to live off the 70% of it, 65% of it. They try to live off the whole 100, and that never works. It ends up putting you in debt, probably actually. Absolutely. All right, number 4. That's good stuff here, man. I'm glad I gave you this one.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Step 4 talks about begin to rebuild your credit score.
Right?
It's so vital in the day and time that we live in. You know, back in the 70s, I don't think they had a credit score. If they did, I didn't know about it. Maybe I was too young. But this day and time, we all need a credit score. And this article may give us some clues why it's so important.
Yeah, I never knew until like I was going to get different jobs, right? And when they asked you about, I'm like, why y'all ask about my credit score? And they said it shows discipline and shows. I was like, yo, what? It's like, yeah, what you doing? I'm looking on the paper like, yo, this says what's my credit? Why y'all got this on this application, man? I'm like, why y'all asking about that? They said it shows, some type of things about you. I was like, wow, I never understood that. I'm like, oh, shoot, someplace that, that. And another thing. Now they say, what's your social media handle? Because they want to check your page. They about to hide it, so that's why now you see certain places. What's your social media name? Show me your page.
That's right. It determines whether or not you are fit
for the organization.
All right. So it says damaged credit can make it difficult to get approval for loans, credit cards, or even an apartment. If your credit was damaged due to addiction, rebuilding your credit score should be a financial priority. That's true. So if you messed up along the lines,
just go through the process of
rebuilding. Why is it important? Why is a good credit score? Why is a good credit score important? Let's talk about it. Your credit score helps prospective lenders, just talked about it, right? And card issuers evaluate whether or not you can be trusted to pay your bills on time.
I'm telling you, they be like, yo, it tells us about you.
Yeah. Credit report agencies such as Equal Effect, Experian, and TransUnion assign these scores based on multiple factors of FICA transitional formula. Let's talk about it. The first bullet talks about payment history. Mike just talked about it. Consistency paying your bills on time is the most important component of your credit score. If you have a consistent record of meeting your financial obligations, you're likely to continue to do so in the future.
So it tells a lot about you.
Yeah. About your behavior.
And patterns.
And patterns. Absolutely. The next bullet talks about credit utilization. High outstanding balances on several credit cards will reduce your credit score. Credit lines drawn to their limits could be seen as a sign that you're not handling debt responsibly.
So always try to stay between the 25 to 30% range.
You don't want to max it out.
Yeah, 25 to 30% is sufficient.
That's sufficient. Okay. Word to the wise.
Yeah.
All right. Third bullet says length of credit history. A longer track record of responsible credit use will improve your credit score. The next one talks about new credit. Opening several credit lines at once can be seen as an indication that you're in financial trouble.
Help me.
It can hurt your credit score.
Yeah.
So you take Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a new one. This one's interest rate and pay you all. And only to go next month and say, hey man, hey Peter, I came to you last time. Now I'm going to
Paul.
switch it up.
Yeah, you keep going back.
You go back and forth. The Peter and Paul, yeah, it was crazy.
So the last bullet talks about credit mix, managing a mix of revolving credit lines, such as credit cards and installment loans, such as car loans or mortgages, can also improve your credit rating because it shows you are responsible for different types of debt. And so your credit score is important because it can determine your approval for a mortgage, car loan, new credit card, or any other type of loan, and how much you pay in interest. Renters and landlords may even use your credit scores as a way to evaluate your payment trustworthiness. Having bad credit can hurt you in all those categories.
Remember, we talked about restoring your life after repairing it, after how to rebuild your finances after rehab. So when you repairing all of that can be, if you're trying to get a landlord, they can look at that. Happens a lot when they ask what's your credit score.
Oh yeah.
Cause they're like, man, you might don't even pay this rent.
And a lot of times we, for those who constantly may not take it seriously, or those who may not even care, but we're so busy ripping and running and say, well, I pay up when I catch up and all that good stuff. In the long run, it hurts us.
Yeah.
And so it's best to get some information. Utilize it. Like I said earlier, this is not to hurt or harm no one. It basically is to empower you. And so that you'll be what we call it here recovery capital. Capital recovery.
Building your recovery capital.
That's right.
How to rebuild your credit score after rehab. Experian has outlined 3 things that are critical to improving your credit score. Minimize your debt, 25-30%. Don't apply for loans or credit cards you don't need. You don't even need. You know what I mean? Make sure your income covers your spending. Woo! Very important. Make sure your income
cover your expenses.
Covered, man. You know what I mean?
Revenue.
All right.
Outweigh your expenses.
Yeah, let's see. Rebuilding damaged credit takes time, but there are a few ways you can boost. You can boost your credit score. Automatic pay your payments. Making your payments on time is the most important credit score factor. Setting up auto pay can ensure you never slip up. This is my main go-to. I got a favorite word called maintaining, and I also love the auto pay. Auto pay, man, that's my favorite. I ain't missed the bill since I sign up for stuff, not just credit card, anything. Y'all got auto pay? He said, I won't have one. Nah, I can't. He said, why, man? Hey, man, I got a lot going on. I can't be, man. Auto pay.
I don't remember all that.
Man, auto pay. Everything. I got everything on auto. Man, I miss nothing, man.
Cha-ching.
Yeah, you can have it. It don't matter.
That's good.
Pay down cards with higher utilization first. Once both overall and individual card utilization factors in your score, make it a priority. Pay down any cards with high balances relative to your credit limits, especially if they're close to being maxed out. So I have it's called I use it. I'm still on it right now. It's called the Snowball Effect.
Snowball
The
effect.
Snowball Effect is
I told you had some good stories.
the Snowball Effect, as I learned, is for those who have credit cards. Right, you have the you take the highest. You got list all your credit cards, whatever the prices is that you owe on each one. You go to the lowest one. You make sure you cover all the minimum payments on all of them, so you don't miss a payment. But whatever the lowest one is, you want to put as much extra finances into that one right there, right? You get that down to zero. You take, let's say you was paying $50 on it a month, and you started paying $100 on a month. Now you paid it off. Now you take that $100 to go with the card that's next to it that you were paying the minimum. So say the minimum was $25. Now you paying $125 on that card every month. You do that, and then you go take you paying $125 on that card, and then you got a next card, and you was already paying your minimum on that, which is $25. Now you take the $125 and you add it with the $25. Now you're paying $150, and you keep rolling on, and then they all paid off.
Snowball effect.
It's called the Snowball Effect, and then you get them all on zero. But you got to be disciplined, because when you get to zero, if you ain't disciplined, you're just gonna use it.
Go back and
You gonna
square
go.
one.
Oh, this got all the limits still on it. Nah, man.
It's gold.
I had to tell people, even though you have the card, cut the card up.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you have to order a new card. But if you got the card, you're gonna use it.
You're gonna use it.
You got, if you're not disciplined, because I got the cards and they're all at zero, but I don't use it. I just go try to pay all of them off. Beware of an unauthorized user. Become an authorized user. If a friend or family member is willing to add you to their own card account as an authorized user, it can help improve your credit score. It's literally how I've been able to establish my credit. Well, I didn't have credit coming out of rehabilitation center, and my wife said, I'm gonna add you to my card. And that's how I first got started doing that. Now I do what my kids is on, but that's it. This may seem like a lot to remember, but the most important thing is to make a budget and stick to it. If you have outstanding credit card balance, your budget must include paying them off over time. You gotta pay them off.
Right.
Freedom, man.
Take care of your responsibility.
We'll talk about investment too, man. We got to get in the investment thing. This guy is really good. He's sneaking around, doing a lot of investment.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not no advisor or no producer,
but investment is big.
But listen, I said fiduciary, but those who know the term that I'm making mention of, because investing is very important. There's no one best to invest than yourself.
Nobody.
And so if you don't believe in anything else, believe in yourself.
All right? I say that all the time.
Absolutely.
They say, how you do that? I say, because I'm going to be the one over it. So I'm willing to invest in. If I'm going to bank on something,
that's right.
I'm definitely going to bank. I'm going to bet on myself.
You know you better than yourself.
I can do it. All right. Let's go.
So what are the best credit cards for rebuilding your finances after rehab? All right. And so it says, while it is important to reduce your outstanding debt as you try to improve your finances, certain credit cards offer features that may help with this or provide rewards that can help offset the cost of bills. These rewards may be cash back on purchases or discount at stores where you frequently shop. All right, and so who don't love a good cash back or reward? You see it on TV all the time. So it's not a fluke, and so people do utilize it for when they go to restaurants.
All types of rewards, I just did. I had to go to Staples to get something, and I walked in there and I had to get something that cost a particular amount of stuff. Yeah. But anyway, By the time I got to the register, because I had the rewards, I saved $30. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
It was like, man, you got $30 off. I was like, good one.
Right.
Because you get the rewards and stuff off of certain things. So I like that.
There are credit cards that fit every lifestyle. But if you're trying to rebuild your credit rating after rehab, consider the following card types. First bullet we want to talk about is low interest. If you're trying to pay down outstanding credit balance, a low interest credit card is probably your best option. Every time you make a payment, it will first be applied to interest on your outstanding balance and then to the balance itself. A lower interest rate will ensure more of your money is going to balance reduction. With average credit card interest rate higher than 17%, a lower rate can make a significant difference in the amount you spend on interest each month. Second bullet, no annual fees. Annual fees can cost $99 to $195 or higher. So a card with no annual fees, that means, after a year, there's no...
Every year.
Right. It's a great start for those wanting to rebuild their credit without going further into debt. But don't look just at the annual fee. Consider the interest rate on the card as well. Just in case you find yourself strapped for cash and are unable to pay the balance in full at some point. Cash back. They go to go one. Cash back cards allow you to earn money just by spending with a credit card. The typical cash back rate is 1% to 2%, but some cards offers as much as 3% to 5% back on certain purchases. These rewards can easily be offset by interest charges. So be sure to pay your bill in full. And last not least, balance transfer. A balance transfer card can be a great option if you're looking to consolidate your credit card debt and quickly pay off balances.
Good stuff.
Some cards offer incentives to transfer outstanding balances from other credit cards. Look into this stuff because there can be some benefits, all right? The incentive is usually a 0% or lower than normal interest rate, allowing you to pay your balances down faster. Just remember that the reduced interest rate will only apply for an intro period, usually around 12 to 15 months, and balance transfer can come with fees. So be mindful of that. Once again, we're talking about finances, rebuilding your finances after coming home from rehab. And not only rehab, but if you're struggling how to manage your money, take some of these tips, some that we have read and shared, and utilize them for your good, and share it with someone.
And share it with in our conversation with some of the tips that you use.
Yeah.
Let us know some of the things. This is not an exhaustive list. This is just something that we gave you. But you can also give us some information on things that you tried, things that you have done that has been successful with rebuilding your finance.
And if there is any financial majors or people who know accountings and you would like to come and share and teach a course,
let us know.
Let us know.
We always need that information. We are open to the public. And if you have other groups and stuff or things that you would like to come to the Capital Recovery Center at 72 North Pearl Street, and we probably can see about doing some type of classes and trainings. If you're a professional in that particular arena, we would love to have you do something in there so we can learn.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right. So stay healthy. We'll see you when?
7 o'clock. We have something on. It'll be a pre-recorded Gratitude Tuesday. So tune in. Okay?
Tune in. Check that out. All right. Take care.
Go to the store. Swipe this card. All right.